Hello and what is up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I'm financial coach Jess, and today's big question that I am answering is, how do I learn more about personal finance? I know the basics, but I feel like I don't know enough to start actually coaching people. This is a question that I get over and over and over again because I explicitly say that my Become a Coach program does not cover personal finance, and that is very intentional. There's a couple reasons why. I've done other videos on them, but I'll briefly go over those reasons here. Number one, everyone's philosophy on money is going to be different. Take credit score, for example, very polarizing topic. I, for one, think credit score is extremely important. You may not think that your credit score is important, so me teaching you that it is would be completely irrelevant for you. Reason number two is that everyone's ideal client is also going to be totally different. There's no way that I can touch on every single piece of personal finance that everyone is going to need for their ideal client, so then they'll have to go out and do more research anyway. Number three, it would be a competing offer for myself because I teach personal finance in 12 Weeks to Wealth, which is for college grads who want to pay off debt. And reason number four is that this is what makes your coaching unique. I've said before, I don't want a bunch of little mini financial coach Jesses running around. I want you to build your own business based on your philosophy when it comes to money. And this is going to make your business and your coaching totally different from anything else that's out there on the market. Your business won't look like anyone else that goes through my program. And like I said, I've gone over all this before, but financial coaches are still asking me, how do I learn more personal finance? Because the process in their mind is backwards. I want to walk you through what they think the process is, and then I'll explain how I do things differently and why it's the secret sauce in my Become a Coach program, and ultimately why it works, why my coaches get clients. The typical financial coach, and I've seen this on YouTube, on Instagram, in comments, in Facebook groups especially, someone decides that they want to be a financial coach, and so they do nothing but fill their head with personal finance information. And can we all agree first that the term personal finance encompasses so much, like literally everything from budgeting to increasing your income, cutting expenses, frugality, investing, insurance, taxes, trust funds, tax advantaged accounts, opportunity costs, and yet we haven't even listed anything having to do with money mindset or relationships and money, divorce, marriage. Money is so interconnected with everything in our lives. It seeps into every single part. And so becoming an expert in personal finance, it seems so incredibly daunting, right? So prospective coaches start learning, they start researching, they start, like I said, filling their brain with nothing but personal finance, and they quickly realize that there is no finish line. And when there is no finish line, how do you know when you get there? How do you know when you arrive? How do you know when you're qualified? And then at the same time, they start dealing with imposter syndrome, which if you haven't already, definitely watch my video on how to conquer imposter syndrome at every level in your business. So imposter syndrome shows up and it starts telling them, you don't know near enough to start teaching and helping someone else. And I just talked about how personal finance is so deep and so wide as a subject matter. And so they just start this downward spiral into Google searching oblivion. And here's the worst part. The further and further you get down this rabbit hole of nonstop personal finance information, the further you actually get from your ideal clients. If you're watching this, you're probably already in somewhat of the financial coaching space, in Facebook groups or on social media or whatever, and we have all come into contact with, that stereotypical, that one coach that just knows everything. They are a know-it-all, and they've got an opinion about everything, they've got a stat for everything, and nobody really likes them. They know a lot of information, they know the stats, they know the right answer for every question that is asked, but they don't have any clients, they don't do any collaborations, they don't do any networking. Their business is stagnant. They've prioritized the information over everything else. And the irony, of course, is that it's driving a wedge between them and the very reason that they started their business in the first place, to use the information to help people. Unfortunately, this is the typical path for a financial coach who's trying to learn enough so that they can start coaching. And this is not the way. Let me show you a better process, and a process that I walk you through step by step within my Become a Coach program. And enrollment is open for Become a Coach, and you can find that link in the description below. Picture this scenario, this path instead for the prospective financial coach. Let's say that you have a strong conviction that you want to help other people either achieve what you have achieved or what you are currently working toward. Instead of prioritizing information, you dive headfirst into market research. You've got a couple of possible ideal clients, and you start talking to people and you start learning everything you can about them through very natural, organic conversations and just genuine friendliness. And you start learning what their biggest obstacles are. You start learning their history with money, how they were brought up, and how they think about money. What is their money mindset? And you also learn what their dreams and their goals are. Now you are neck deep in market research, you're talking to your ideal client, and you know for a fact who your ideal client is, and you know where they are stuck. This is point A in their journey. You also know where they want to be, what their dreams and goals and desires are, and that is point B. And it is your job as the financial coach to be able to guide them from point A to point B in a low risk, engaging, efficient, and success-driven manner. Now, did I pull that straight from my Become a Coach program? Yes, I 100% did. A lot of the times, coaches think that the most valuable programs are the ones with the most information. They want to jam-pack their program full of as much information as they possibly can, and this is 100% wrong. The most valuable programs are the ones that can get them from point A to point B without all the fluff. We actually want a program with the least amount of information that can still get them the results that they want. If someone can watch a 10-minute YouTube video to learn how to do something new, or they can listen to an hour-long podcast to learn how to do the same thing, which one is more valuable? The 10-minute YouTube video. It got them what they were looking for, the result, in the shortest amount of time. The program that is most valuable gets results in a very streamlined way. For example, let's say your ideal client are immigrants who are starting over or are getting acclimated in a new place. In your program, do you need to include information about a backdoor Roth IRA conversion? No. And if you did, for whatever reason, it would actually drive a wedge between you and your ideal client because this has nothing to do with them. It doesn't touch their pain points. It's not a result that they desire. And so it would be just completely irrelevant. If your ideal client is in the military or a military spouse, do you need to have the tax information on the differences between an S Corp and a sole prop? No, it's going to be completely irrelevant for them. But you do need to know the intricacies of military pay and be able to teach them how to advocate for themselves. Are you starting to see how this naturally narrows the scope of what you need to know as a financial coach? When I first got done with my initial market research, I had a very tangible list of things that I needed to include in my program to get them from point A to point B. And some of the things I knew already and was proficient in, and some of the things I didn't feel confident in, like insurance and investing, and I had to do some legwork to get my knowledge up in those specific areas. But once you're able to check those things off, you are now equipped. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the learning stops. I've definitely gone on to learn things about pregnancy, charitable tax credits, and weird niche things like that. Not so much for my clients, but just for my own expansion and awareness. I want to give you a really great example of this. Always learning, but not letting it alienate you from your audience, and that is Graham Stephan. I was actually recently watching some of his content with this video in mind, and it really revealed to me how he channels everything that he talks about through the lens of his audience. He always ends the videos with what this information means for them. When someone is as smart and well-read and just immersed in personal finance as much as he is, it's very easy to let all of the information become the central focus and just learning the info for the sake of the info. But he's very intentional about not doing that, and I think that that's why his channels are so successful. When you follow my step-by-step process on how to do this, instead of alienating yourself by just being inundated with too much personal finance information, everything that you do from the get-go in your business brings you closer to your ideal clients. And that's truly why my coaches get clients. If you're interested in learning more about my Become a Coach program, definitely check out this video right here and click the link below to watch my free pricing workshop and check out the course curriculum. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.